This evening, we have a treat. Michael Hannock will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. The title of his speech, 3 Decisions I Made in My Life That I Somehow Managed to Get Right. 3 decisions I made in my life that I somehow managed to get right. Let's give Michael a warm welcome.
First things first, Brenda, as my evaluator, asked me to do this. So I'm going to take her advice. That's my security blanket, so I'm now trying to fly without a parachute here. Let's see how this goes. So when you talk about, I heard that I said so, and I know that's one of the things I need to pay attention to. When you talk about things that you got right, it sounds a lot like you are boasting about your accomplishments. And I'm hoping that by the time I finish my presentation, you'll understand that that's really not what my goal was. Because the truth is that if I were to talk about the things that I didn't do right and the poor decisions that a knucklehead like me makes sometimes, that's more than a 5 to 7 minute speech. Trust me. And we only have that limited amount of time. So it means that it's better for me to focus on the things that I got right, because it's a shorter list. Okay. There are 3 things that I'm going to be talking about. Number 1, I married up. Let me explain. If you were here in August of last year, when I brought my wife in and her sister and her mother, you'll understand what I mean when I say I married up. Look, I understand that I'm not Denzel Washington. For those of you who don't know who Denzel Washington is, he's one of those guys that ladies swoon over. I'm not that guy, and I get that. In fact, I remember a couple months ago when I went to lunch with a school friend of mine, high school friend of mine. He was Bulldog. We called him Bulldog back in the day. And when Bulldog was meeting Laurel, that's her name, for the first time, rather than saying, hey, good to see you, we haven't seen each other for such a long time, the first words out of Bulldog's mouth after he saw Laurel was, how do you end up with this guy? It's okay. Bit of a ego, downer, but that's okay. We knew each other. Bulldog and I go way back, so that's fine. At any rate, you're probably thinking, did I marry Laurel because she's good looking, she's pretty? Yeah, to an extent, that's true. That was a factor. But the truth is that she has a very good head on her shoulders. She's very generous, and we disagree on things, but at the end of the day, we can find common ground and we complement each other. So that was decision number 1 that really worked out for me. Decision number 2. I talked about the fact that I was in the banking industry in Jamaica. One of the perks I had as a branch manager of a rural branch was paid accommodation. That's nice. One of the other perks was they gave you very generous mortgage financing opportunities. So what did I do? I went and invested in real estate. I bought a place which I was able to rent out because I didn't need one since I was living in the quarters that they gave me. That made me catch the real estate investment bug. I learned a lot over the years. And the only ones that have not worked out for me, or the only one I should say that hasn't worked out for me, was when I was trying to flip a property. I was watching this thing on television. There are a lot of these shows where you buy the place, you fix it up, and then you try to sell it. For me, that's not the way. That one was break even for me. And I found that for me, holding the property and renting it out for a while makes more sense. So I can't tell you that that doesn't work for other people. If that's something that works for you, then fine. But for me, buying and holding for a while has made more sense. That was number 2. Number 3, I became a Toastmaster. I'm so sorry that we don't have any guests here because I was trying to make this into a little marketing expose for the club.
Mm.
I am a Toastmaster for life at this point. I joined this club in the middle of 2022. And in that time, since then, I've learned so much about public speaking. There are so many things that I do differently now compared to before I joined this club. Jennifer and Leslie Ann last week in their table topics presentation spoke about some of the things that they're doing a bit differently now compared to before they joined the club. And I'm here to tell you that I may not always be a member of this club, because as you know, I'm a temporary transplant from Canada, but I will be a Toastmaster for life. There's so many things that I have learned and so many people that I have met that, as far as I'm concerned, this is a very worthwhile experience. And my plan is to make sure that everybody who I meet that has any inkling of wanting to learn about public speaking, I'm going to try to get them to join them, to become Toastmasters. So those are 3 decisions that I wanted to share with you that did work out for me. The truth is that there have been a plethora of other things that a knucklehead like me did not get right. But those 3 have worked out. Thank you very much.